Hey, I'm Matt from Dynamic, and today we're going to get your DApp up and running with sign up, login, and user management through, fairly obviously, Dynamic. So welcome, and let's get started. We're going to use three separate resources: docs.dynamic.xyz, the documentation; demo.dynamic.xyz for our demo environment; the developer dashboard. You'll get access to this as soon as you sign up via the website, dynamic.xyz, and you should see something similar to me here. We'll also use a plain create React app instance. You can see I have one running right here, and we have a code editor over here, that very same. All right, we're going to do a whole bunch of stuff very quickly, so follow along. Hope you enjoy, and any questions, just let me know. Once you've signed up in the dashboard, we are going to want to configure our sign up and login methods. We're then going to want to put a sign up and login method onto our React app. Let's start by taking a note of our environment ID. We will need this when we start embedding the app with Dynamic. So take a note, copy and paste, put it somewhere you need, easy in your code editor. Let's, for example, pop it over here just now. So we have that. And the next place we're going to go to is configurations. Let's start with login methods. You can see here I have enabled for us email signup and social auth. These are the first two which we're going to support. Now, if you go to the documentation, you can see the sections in signing up with email and social. You'll see that for social, you will need to configure individual options. So for example, if we look here, we see that depending on what you want to support, you will need to go and actually take the client ID, client secret, and then add the redirect URL to Coinbase. So for each one, you need to configure it separately. I've done Google here for us already. Steps available in the documentation. All you need to do is turn these on. That's it. Next, we're going to want to get something which looks like this: sign up with email or with social. What we're going to want to do is embed the React SDK into our React app. So if we go to the quick start, that's the easiest way of doing so. I'm going to make some quick choices for us here. Veeam is the default that we use as the client library. I love it. I thoroughly recommend it. If you need to use ethers, just change it to this. And we're also going to want to be able to use WAGMI. So we'll need an extra library called our WAGMI connector. All we need to do, copy and paste this. Now, I am going to want to offer our users embedded wallets when they sign up through email or social. So for that, we will also want Ethereum enabled. To do that, we'll need to do it in our dashboard and also in our code. So we have Ethereum selected here. You can see the note says the same. If you want Ethereum embedded wallets, use the Ethereum wallet connectors. So we copy straight back over to our code. Run. Now I've run this already to save us some time. And back over we go to step 2. We'll want to initialize the SDK. So let's copy this over. You'll notice it has exactly the same selected here. So if you turn off WAGMI, for example, this would update as well. If you want to use WAGMI v2, by the way, just let me know. It's a separate guide, because it lives down here in, I believe, frameworks, WAGMI v2, and it shows you exactly how to do it there. We'll update the default quick start to reflect that very shortly, but for now, just take for granted that it lives elsewhere. So initializing the SDK, let's copy our code back to our editor, and let's just paste over our default app component. Let's do this, export default app. Take our environment ID. You see we need to replace it here. You see by default, this has the environment ID setting, and the wallet connectors are set to Ethereum wallet connectors in the array, which we've already imported. You can see we're using our dynamic WAGMI connector right here. It's really important that the context provider wraps your whole app as high in the component tree as possible. One level down, you'll want the WAGMI connector if you're using it. And then you see this interesting one called the dynamic widget. We'll get to that in just a moment. But let's start our app up. By default, here we go. We have this button, and now we have this modal. This is the dynamic widget, what you're seeing. So you can see it in action here, but how come this one doesn't have a button? How come it's directly embedded into the page? Well, that's because there's two kinds of dynamic widget. You can see down here in the components introduction, there's the embedded widget, it's a standalone component, and there's the widget itself, which renders as a button. So we're using the dynamic widget as a button, which is why it shows up like this. And here we have connect with Google or enter email. So I can do this. I'm at Dynamic.xyz. I'll be right back. Here we are with the code. And voila, I'm signed up. I don't have an embedded wallet. I haven't connected any other wallet, but I do have my user profile. If we go back to the dashboard, if we go to user management, we'll see we have our new user. Step 1, email and social auth, done. Let's add 2 more things. Firstly, let's add the ability to connect a wallet. So for this, we have our login methods. Email and social are enabled. Web 2 only as a design configuration is enabled. So let's disable that. We want to allow Web 3 as well. Now, this is set to optimize for Web 3 users. Wallet card will show as the first option before sign up with email and social. That's not necessarily what we want here. We want to show wallets, but as a last option. So let's do optimize for Web 2. Save this and refresh our app. I'm going to log out again. Here we have continue with a wallet. Let's try MetaMask. We will sign and voila, we're now able to sign in with a wallet instead. Back to our users. You can see we have one right here. Beautiful. Now I'm going to delete this and I'll keep our email user. What we'll do is log in again with email. Be right back. Here we are. And we can see in our user profile that we have the ability to link a new wallet. We're an email user. What if we want to add our MetaMask for some reason? Link, MetaMask, same process, sign in, boom. There we go. We now have linked our MetaMask as well. Let's log out, go in as a new user, forget that we signed up with email, go to connect our wallet directly. As a new user, we want to sign up with our wallet. And we can do so right here, no problem. So back here in our profile tab, logged in with this wallet, we can now see that we've auto-linked the two for you. We bring you back to your email profile with this wallet attached. So you can now log in with your wallet, get access to the email profile, vice versa. It's easily connected. We handle a ton of edge cases like this, as well as multi-wallet and a ton of other stuff. So this is a really good reason to use the widget, the UI that we provide, because it's all handled for you. It's beautiful that way. Okay, let's add the next step. What if you don't necessarily want to connect MetaMask, you want to sign up with email or social, but we want to give you an embedded wallet when you do so? Let's go here. We can give you one in EVM or Solana, or indeed both, which is super cool. Let's go EVM only for now. There are a few choices to make. You can dig deep in the documentation or chat to us about what's the best choice. Generally, we can offer passkeys or one-time codes, assigning and security methods. You can choose when to prompt someone to add a signing method. That is at the initial sign up, which, you know what, let's do that now, or later on transaction. So maybe let's not make it required, and I'll show you what this means. You can also override anything at any time to go manual mode, meaning you call it in code as a hook. Now you'll see what this means, okay? Let's give it a go. Turning on embedded wallets, just like that. Refreshing the page, going here, and let's now go +1 at Dynamic.xyz, sign up with email, be right back. Here we go, here's our code. You can see that we're now prompted for an extra step. You're being given a wallet, so you need to secure it. You can see that you can skip this step because in the configuration, that's what we allowed, right? You can see passkey, security prompt at initial sign up, but it's not required. This is a balance of UX for security, right? In this case, it's an extra point of friction, but once I've done so, I can sign for stuff with a passkey for my embedded wallet, and I don't need to worry about it again. This is a good optimization to say, okay, if you want to do it now, you can. If not, let's skip. Maybe let's skip this for now. And look at that. We're an email user, but we indeed have a wallet. You can see a lovely little tip here where you're also recommended to set up your passkey within the modal. Now, if you don't do it, when you go to make your first transaction, it'll automatically trigger the modal to add your passkey. So lots of different compromises on the UX and UI, all customizable from within this UI here, this dashboard. Okay, we have email sign up, we have social sign up, we have user profiles, we have Web3 wallet sign up and login, we have wallet linking, we have embedded wallets. Why don't we add an extra layer on top, which is what if we want to have a situation where our embedded wallets are account abstraction enabled? We have a partner, ZeroDev, who helps us with this. So what you do is sign up with them, get your project ID, enter it here. And this is helpful. Separation of concerns. Turn on ZeroDev. Do you want new users only to get smart contract wallets, or all users, including existing? Do you want to enable smart contract wallets for all wallets which sign up, or just embedded wallets? So let's go just embedded, okay? This is what we want for our use case. Turn on. And here we have our first error. And this is an important error. I've surfaced it on purpose to show us that when we enable certain things, we need to reflect that in the code. So for example, you can see we have a link here to check the different wallet connectors that we're using. Now you can see right here we have Ethereum wallet connectors. In order to keep the bundle size light, we have split everything up for you. So in this case, what we're going to want to do is check if we need another. We actually need ZeroDev Smart Wallet connectors in order to use ZeroDev. We can see that it comes from the Ethereum AA library. So we'll stop our app for a second. We'll install that library, pop back and check what we need. So let's import from there. From Dynamic Labs, and then I think it's Ethereum AA, just like this. We will then add it to our wallet connectors. Start the app again. Wait for a moment. Here we have connect our wallet. Let's go mat plus 3 at Dynamic.xyz. Be right back. There's our code. Skip for now. We got an embedded wallet. And there we go. So if we check out this user, let's go back to our users. We can see that we now have two different ones. You can see a few seconds ago, this user mat plus 3, he has an embedded wallet address, and on top we have a smart contracts wallet as well. And this is the one which will now be interacted with for that user. And you can do all sorts of neat stuff, like set up your gas sponsorship rules all through ZeroDev. So if you want to go deeper on that, ask away, we can help you out. Okay, we're almost done. We have all of our sign up and login methods configured, AA enabled wallets for new users, and let's add some account management or onboarding features now. So we could go and we could handle more chains, for example, or we could add more different kinds of wallet configurations. But for now, let's focus on the user experience after we sign up. So what happens if we want to ask for some information? Let's take an easy one, like we want to ask for first name. Go here, toggle it on, done. Let's also say we want to quickly add access control. My dynamic DApp, let's call it. There's a bunch of configurations in here, so I'm just going to show us the easiest one. You can see that we allow site access if you have an email or wallet address, like so. So let's go wallet address. I'm just going to take my MetaMask and pop it in here, just like this. We'll update the list. And we just want to make sure it's turned on, which it is. Super. Okay, let's test these two out. I am going to log out. And let's come back here, connect with a wallet, MetaMask, sign in. Access is denied. So in this case, let's stop that. Now, oops, I forgot to save that wallet address on here. There we go. Much better. Let's update our list. Let's check that. Here's a wallet address. It is indeed saved. Let's try and connect that again. I'm just going to do a hard refresh. Sign in. There we go. We're let into the app because we have this wallet address saved in our access list. It's asking for optional first name to save. Let's give it. We're now back in. If we go to our users tab, you can see here in our MetaMask profile, we have our wallet attached, and we can see all the different sessions that we have on this user. Okay, so this is a brief overview. If you want to start adding more chains and networks, you do it down here in the Changes Networks tab. So if you want to enable, for example, Optimism, BNB, so many other, in fact, any EVM compatible chain, if you want to add a custom network or a custom chain, you absolutely can do so as well. Let me just find it here for you, custom networks. And we have a setup here where you can add an EVM network yourself in the code, and that'll automatically support whatever you add. If you want to go further and you want to start adding plugins like the on-ramp, now I've enabled that one for you, which is why you saw it, this beautiful buy button here. You can add Chainalysis, Captcha, others. We have lots of different integrations. If you go down here into the integration guide, you can see if you want to send an XMTP message after someone signs up, you can create a webhook. So that would be over here, developer, webhooks. I should have one already set up. We do. You give it the URL. Let's edit this one. You select the event that you want to use. You make sure it's enabled, and voila, we'll do the rest for you. There are lots of other wonderful integrations. Like, for example, we can integrate with Bello if you want to have analytics on your wallet addresses and your users. And then when it comes to design, we haven't touched much in it. I know we said we'd get into the details of the different components. Once again, we have the dynamic widget and the dynamic embedded widget. There's lots of other stuff too inside here. There's loads of hooks. So if you want to do everything which we did, but do it manually, you just hook into the code. Let's say here's the use embedded wallet hook, and you can choose when to create the embedded wallet for the user. So everything which you can think of doing, you can do in code, and you can access the state of everything in code. The hooks are super useful for that. And everything else lives here. The utilities, the callbacks, there's some examples for you. That's funny. I guess I've been clicking around too much. And if you need to do things in a headless manner or interact with the API, you would do so over here. All right, folks. Thank you for watching.